Hey guys, it's me, Miss Norris, and today I'd like to share a fun read aloud with you of the story Strega Nona's Magic Lessons. The story Strega Nona's Magic Lessons was written by Tomie DePaola in 1982, and it's another story about your friend and mine, Strega Nona. If you're ready to hear the story, I'm ready to share it with you. Here we go. Strega Nona's Magic Lessons. Bambolona, the baker's daughter, was angry. Every day, summer, fall, winter, and spring, she had to get up before the sun to bake bread. Then, piling the loaves on her head, she went to deliver them. But her work wasn't finished. Rushing back to the bakery, she had to mix the flour and salt and water and yeast and set the dough to rise for tomorrow's bread. So, Bambolona is the baker's daughter, and she has to work all the time, and she's starting to get a little mad about it. And as soon as she thinks the work is done, she has to start getting ready for the next day's work. So she bakes the bread, she stacks it on her head, she sells it, and then starts making it again.
"Don't forget," her father, the baker, would say, "to make the cookies and bake the cakes. And remember, Bambolona, to clean up everything, spick and span. I'm going now to see my friends."
And off he would go to sit all day in the square of the little town in Calabria. One day, Bambolona said, "Papa, there's too much work to do. I need some help."
"Get up earlier," her father said.
"But I get up now before the sun," said Bambolona. "And I'm the last one in town to get to bed."
"That's the way things are," her father said,
as he went out the door on his way to the square.
"And don't forget," he called back, "you have a wedding cake to bake."
That did it. Bambolona dusted the flour from her hands and took off her apron. "I'm gonna change the way things are," she said. "I'll go see Strega Nona. She's so wise. She'll help me." So Bambolona is telling her dad that it's too much work, and he says, "Get up earlier." She says, "I already am up first and down last." He says, "That's just the way it is." And he leaves. And she says, "That's it. She's going to go get help from Strega Nona. Maybe she'll give her some good advice." "I think I know how to help you," Strega Nona said after hearing Bambolona's sad tale. "So many people come to me with their troubles. I could certainly use some help. Why not stay with me and I will teach you my magic?" "Oh, Strega Nona," said Bambolona, "thank you." "We'll start today," said Strega Nona. Now, Big Anthony, who worked around the house and in the garden for Strega Nona, was listening. He was always listening to what other people were talking about instead of working.
Strega Nona," he
shouted, running into the house.
"Me too. Teach me your magic too."
So, Strega Nona says, "I'll help you. Why don't you come and work for me and I'll teach you magic?" And Big Anthony, who's always eavesdropping and listening, says, "Please teach me too." Do you think that she'll teach him too? "Oh, Anthony," Strega Nona said with a smile, "I can't do that. Why don't you go and milk the goat?" Now Big Anthony was the one who was angry.
I'll show Strega Nona," he muttered. "I'll just go and work for the baker now that Bambolona has left."
Down the hill, Big Anthony ran. The baker hired him on the spot.
"The first thing you do is mix the dough," the baker told Big Anthony. Put in this much flour, this much salt, this much water, and this much yeast. He looked hard at Big Anthony's smiling face. Do you understand? The yeast makes the dough rise. Now mix it in right away, and by the time I get back at 6 o'clock, the dough will be ready to make into loaves. Si, senor. Yes, sir, Big Anthony said. And the baker walked out of the door and toward the square. So when Strega Nona said that she couldn't teach Big Anthony, he got mad. She told him to go milk a goat. He said, I'm going to go work for the baker. And the baker gave him all the directions. Do this, do that, do that. You got this? Now, I don't know if you guys remember from the last story, but Big Anthony is not a very good listener. So I'm not sure how this is going to go. Well, I'll just look at everything first, said Big Anthony, poking around. Cookies? He ate one, then another. Cakes? He ate one, then another. Big Anthony ate them all. In fact, he was still eating when the clock in the square struck 4. Mamma mia, said Big Anthony. I forgot to mix the dough. It won't rise in time. Ah, I know. The yeast makes the dough rise. I'll just put in a lot more of that, and the dough will rise much faster. Ha! And I'll still have time for a nap, he said when he got through, and he sat down and promptly fell asleep. So Big Anthony ate cookies and cakes and lots of cakes. And he was so busy eating, he forgot to put the yeast in the bread. So he put in extra so it would rise faster, and then took a nap. Easy. I guess I was wrong. Big Anthony's got this. He can eat cookies and cakes and make bread. What a sight the baker saw when he returned. Out! Shouted the baker. So it rose. The dough rose a lot. It covered the entire bakery. And the baker, he's mad. So mad. What's the matter, Big Anthony? Asked Senora Rosa. Oh, the baker threw me out. Now I have no job, he answered, and it's Strega Nona's fault. I never would have left her house if she had let me learn to be a Strega. You silly goose, said Senora Rosa. Whoever heard of a man being a Strega? And all of a sudden, Big Anthony's eyes lit up, and off he ran. So while the baker is still mad, Big Anthony is mad because he's been fired from his job at the bakery, and Strega Nona won't teach him magic. But Senora Rosa says, well, yeah, of course you can't be a Strega. Only ladies can be Stregas. And he never thought about that before. And now he just ran off. To cure a headache, you must first fill the bowl with water, Strega Nona was telling Bambolona. Next, you add a few drops of olive oil. Then you say these magic words. Strega Nona went to the door. Oh, Strega Nona, said a tall girl standing there. All my life I've wanted to learn your magic. Will you teach me? Please? Santo cielo! Dear me, said Strega Nona. What is your name, my girl? Antonia, said the girl. And why do you want to learn my magic, Antonia? Strega Nona asked. So that I can help people, said Antonia. Ever since I was a little girl, I've wanted to become a Strega.
Ah, in that case, said Strega Nona, come right in. This is Bambolona, and she's learning my magic too. So, a girl has shown up who wants to learn magic too. And Strega Nona says, why? Just to help people? And Strega Nona says, okay, that sounds good to me. I'm teaching Bambolona, and I can teach you both at the same time. Let's see how this goes. Do you think Strega Nona knows that this is Big Anthony? I don't know either. Bambolona stared at Antonia, then at Strega Nona. How nice! 2 girls to teach, Strega Nona said. She smiled at Bambolona, and then she began. To learn magic and practice it well, she said, you must learn to see and not to see. You must learn to remember and to forget, and to be still and to be busy. But mostly, you must be faithful to your work. Do you understand, my dears? See, yes, Strega Nona, said Bambolona. No, said Antonia. When are we going to learn how to do magic things? In time, said Strega Nona. Now let's practice some of the magic words. Repeat in the right order after me. Soon, Bambolona said all of them by heart. Antonia kept mixing them up. Bambolona learned the cure for headaches. Antonia didn't. Bambolona learned to make love potions. Antonia didn't. Bambolona learned how to get rid of warts. Antonia didn't. So, Strega Nona has 2 students, one that's learning very well, and one that wants just to get to the fun parts and is having a really hard time with learning the magic words. And when Bambolona learns how to cure headaches, it doesn't go so well for Antonia. When it's love potions, Bambolona's doing great. Antonia, not so much. And Bambolona can get rid of warts. Antonia gives extra ones. Bambolona, said Strega Nona, I think you are ready now to learn more powerful magic. This is a special book. It is very ancient and contains many magic secrets. Tomorrow, we will begin with it. Oh, grazie, Strega Nona, said Bambolona. Me too, Strega Nona? Not yet, Antonia, said Strega Nona. You have other things to learn. That night, while everyone slept, Antonia crept into the house. Antonia crept into Strega Nona's house. Bambolona thinks she's so smart, said Antonia. I'll just read that book tonight, and tomorrow I'll surprise her and Strega Nona. So Bambolona's learning, and so she's getting the next book. But not Antonia. Not yet. You have to go slow before you can go fast. But Antonia doesn't like that. So she's going to sneak in and take that book, and she's going to learn all the magic at night and surprise everyone. I hope so. The next morning, Antonia was looking very tired. Antonia, said Strega Nona, watch and listen. Come, Bambolona, we will start. What? Wait, shouted Antonia. I have a surprise. I know some real magic. Watch me turn that iron kettle into a golden one. Are you sure, Strega Nona? Said Strega Nona, frowning. Oh yes, said Antonia, beginning to mutter some strange sounding words. But she stopped. Wait, I remember now, she began again. Be careful, Antonia, warned Bambolona. Magic can't be fooled with. I got it now, Antonia said. So Strega Nona says, Bambolona, let's get started. And it began, Antonia, please watch. And Antonia says, no, ladies, let me show you. I know big magic, and I'm going to turn this pot into gold. And everyone warns her, calm it down. She muttered more words. Suddenly, there was a bright flash, some smelly smoke, and the iron kettle was still there. Womp womp. But Strega Nona wasn't. Instead, where Strega Nona had been standing was a nice fat toad. Now see what you've done, cried Bambolona. Oh no, shouted Antonia. Oh, help, somebody, save Strega Nona, what have I done? Strega Nona warned you to be careful with magic. Now she's gone forever, Bambolona said. Oh, Strega Nona, wept Antonia, picking up the toad. Forgive me, please, Bambolona. You're so clever, you're so smart. Please change your back again. I promise I'll never play with magic again. I can't change that toad into Strega Nona, said Bambolona. But I can change Antonia. So the magic that was supposed to turn the pot gold turned Strega Nona into a frog. And Antonia's freaking out. And Bambolona's mad. And he's saying, please help, your magic is strong. And Bambolona says, I can't change that toad into Strega Nona, but I can change Antonia into Big Anthony. Bambolona pulled off Antonia's kerchief, and sure enough, there was Big Anthony. How mad she is. Oh, I'll never learn, howled Big Anthony. I'll never learn. Oh, Strega Nona, what have I done to you? Perhaps, said Bambolona, if you really promise to never, ever play with magic again, that will bring Strega Nona back. Do you really think that would work? Said Big Anthony, sobbing. It's worth a try, said Bambolona. Big Anthony put down the toad. He closed his eyes tight, and he put his hand over his heart. I really promise, that as long as I live, I will never play with magic again. Just please, bring Strega Nona back. So, Big Anthony's a little sad, and he's kind of freaking out. So he listens to Bambolona, and he puts Strega Nona down. He says, I'm sorry, and I'll never do magic again. Not now, not ever. There was another bright flash, some smelly smoke, and presto, Strega Nona was back. Where am I? Said Strega Nona. Oh, I'm in my little house. Whatever happened to me? Hello, Bambolona. And why, Big Anthony, what are you doing here? Sweet Antonia! Tell her, Big Anthony, said Bambolona. Oh, Strega Nona, said Big Anthony, falling on his knees. And he told Strega Nona what he had done. He was so busy crying and talking, he didn't notice the nice fat toad hopping past him out the door. So poof, magic, Strega Nona, where have I been? Where am I? Bambolona tells him to tell Strega Nona what happened. He's so busy crying and saying sorry that he doesn't notice that Strega Nona's hopping out the door. Maybe she wasn't Strega Nona after all. And so, Strega Nona, please, he said, if you take me back, I promise to be good. I'll do all my chores and never play with magic again. All right, Anthony, said Strega Nona, smiling. But before you go back to work, change your clothes. You're wearing Senora Rosa's nicest dress. So Bambolona's laughing, and Big Anthony's apologizing. And we just found out that Strega Nona knew that it was Big Anthony all along because he's wearing Senora Rosa's best dress. And she's saying, you better take that back. Big Anthony looks confused. Strega Nona and Bambolona. Strega Nona and Bambolona both look very pleased with themselves and the trick that they pulled to lure Big Anthony out. The end. Ladies and gentlemen, if you enjoyed the story, Strega Nona's Magic Lessons, please hit that thumbs up button at the bottom of the page. If you're already a subscriber, thank you so much for your support. It really means a lot to me. If you're not a subscriber yet, please click that subscribe button down at the bottom of the page, and don't forget to click the bell so that you're notified whenever there's new content. And just so you all know, every Wednesday and Friday in the month of June, I'm going to be sharing a different Tomie DePaola story with you because he's one of my favorite authors, and I hope that listening to his stories will help make him one of your favorites too. I hope to see you all again real soon. Bye-bye.